Okay, so this is my 2017 BMW F30, and this has a problem with the door lock. I'll show you what that looks like now. So whenever I go to unlock the door, this is the sound you get. So clearly there's a problem with that. Locking is fine, but unlocking, this is what it does. Now these locks are quite integrated. That lock unit that you can see there has the locking mechanism to hold the door shut. It has the child lock as part of the unit, and it also has the actuator from the central locking as part of the unit as well. So it's all self-contained, and that unit looks like this. Quite a big piece, as you can see. And this one should fit in like that. Now, this unit has a connection here to control the actuator to lock and unlock the door from the central locking. It has the a Bowden cable that connects from the door handle on this one. It has this connection here is to connect to the button, the locking button at the top, and on the back here is another connection. Actually, I think that one's from the door handle, the inner door handle to unlock. One's from the inner door handle, one's from the outer door handle, and the other one is for the lock button. And then the electrical connection is just there to connect to the car's central locking system. So that's what I've got to replace, that whole unit. Now I bought this one from Autodoc. It's a Mexica, which is a kind of in-between price of the brands. I don't know what the OEM brand would be. I don't know what the cost would have been from my local BMW supplier, but this is the one I bought. It seems to have good reviews. It seems to look very much like the one I'm about to take out. So we'll start stripping the door out and see how we look. Okay, so here we go. So in order to start stripping this door, I bought some trim removal tools, which should help with this process. And the first thing I need to do is to remove the door pull handle cover, which is just a matter of unclipping. Again, do this gently and that clips away quite nicely. And behind here we have got some like T20 screws. So let's grab a T20, which is that one. See if that fits. That's a T15. I'm pretty sure these are a T20, but that 15 seems to fit. Okay. There we go. Let's take these out. So I've got one there, we've got one at the top here. Okay, so that's those two loose. Okay, so we know around the edge we've got clips to lift it away, but we've got to also lift it up. So let's pop this off around the edges, and we're going to do this as carefully as we can. I'm going to use this trim tool to get behind the trim, see if I can find the clips. Okay, so one there. Yeah, where are the other clips? Okay. I'll take the puddle light out. So that's got the door panel away, so we're just going to lift it up. Yep, they're all released. We're going to lift it up here. There we go, and that should lift away. And then behind here we've got various cables which we need to detach. So we've got the speaker cable there. Put the puddle light cable down there. And we have I need to take the window switch out. So I'm just going to hang that loosely back. And then I'm going to pop the window switch out. Pop that window switch out. Wow. Okay, not the easiest thing to take out, but it's coming out. There we go. So I'm going to disconnect that on the back. That just should be a straightforward pull out. There we go. Okay, so what have we left? We can withdraw that cable now. And that looks like that has a fitting. Wow, what a strange arrangement. Okay, so that's that clipped out. So we're going to unclip just over here. We've got the ambient light connector. And down the bottom here, we've got the connection for the puddle light, which I'm going to take out. Wow, how many cables and connections. Okay, so that's that disconnected. Now, the Bowden cable we talked about earlier, this cable that links the inner door handle to the lock itself, and that just pops off quite easily. So we are disconnected. Put that one inside the car. Now, this is going to be the tricky bit because we've got this foam protector which separates the main part of the door from the door card to stop damp from impacting the door card. Now I'm hoping that I can just separate these purely by peeling away carefully. I don't want to have to replace this foam, so I'm going to do this super gently just by pulling away the butyl rubber that's there. Hopefully you can see that. Pull away this rubber gently until we separate enough of it. I'm going to try and keep as much of it in place as I can as well, because I want to use that to seal this back up afterwards. Okay, that's not coming away too bad. The fact that it's warm today is probably helping hugely with this. I'm not going to go too far with this either, but we do need to get inside of this area Now we've got our lock button, which should pop out. There we go, it's just popped out. We've got our power connection from the central lock-in, just there. There's a little button on the top that's got to be pressed in, and we can pop that out. Okay, so just pulling this gently away. I'm trying to keep as much of the adhesive intact as possible. Okay. Now we've got a that's a T25 to me on the top, or a T20. Oh, much bigger. These are a T30. Okay, so we've got our T30 bit on our impact driver. Let's pop these out. One, two, and three. That should release the lock now. The only thing I've got to take account of is the connection from the outer door handle, which I believe is on a cable. Now can I feel that at the back? I can feel the power connector in the back there. And yep, I can feel the cable connection in the back. I've absolutely no idea how that fits on though. Now I'm guessing that connection in the back there must connect to this part here, so it's probably just a matter of that pushing in, and then the cable must connect into here, and then the inner of the cable must connect to this to pull that up to unlock the vehicle. So let's see if I can pop that out. I'm able to move the lock, but I can't move it far because of that other cable. Now I'm wondering if that's got to be disconnected at the handle end or at the lock end, but see if I can find connection. I can feel it. And that's popped off. I've just managed to pop the inner off. Now the outer cable, does that push in? Yeah, it looks like the outer connection connects in here into the spring area, so let's see if we can get that out. There is another wire I can feel up here as well, which I think clips onto the lock. It does clip onto the lock, I can feel that. That I believe is the illumination for the outer door handle, so I need to pop that off. I'll show you that once I've got the once I've got it out, once I've got the lock out, I can show you. Right, that's come out now. Now I'm just feeling my way. You've got to do all this by feel by the looks of things. I'm just feeling my way to where the top of the cable from the outer door handle comes down and clips in. And that's just popped out. All I've done is I've pulled it that way and it's popped out, so I should now be able to withdraw the lock. Meanwhile, I don't think anything else is connected to it. There's a cable stopping it coming out, which I think is this one here. Oh, actually, that's the one that goes up to the door. There's another retaining clip that guides that up. So there's two clips on that cable that goes to the outer door illumination, the outer door handle illumination. There's some cable clips there that are retaining that. Now they would clip in just here, and that's what goes in that way around. Hang on a minute. This lock is the wrong side. They sent me the wrong side. I'm pretty sure they've sent me the wrong side. Right, okay, so that's the lock released. No, they have sent me the right side. Yeah, it is exactly the same. Oh, that's a relief. So, the top of the outer door handle cable the outer must connect here, and then the inner must connect down here. And it does, you can see where it does. I'll try and get you a shot. So that's the cable that comes down from the outer door handle, and the wire or the cable you can see in the background there, that is the cable that feeds the illumination to the outer door handle. So we've got to clip that back in place. That clips in 2 places. Let's get this one back in, this new one back in. Now these look remarkably similar. I don't know which brand this is because there is no brand on it that I can see. It's got L latch, which I assume is left latch. It's got a CCC mark on there. It looks like it's made by a company called Klekert, K-L-E-K-E-R-T A-G. So that's probably the OEM part for the vehicle. What I've got is not a Klekert. It is made by Metzger, M-E-T-Z-G-E-R, but it's the same part. Now whether they're an OEM brand or not, I don't know, but this one seems to be a good quality one, so let's hope it all does the trick. Now I've got to try and work out where the cable, okay, so the cable that runs through to the outer door handle has 2 clips on it. One clips here and one clips there. So I've got to get those white clips back into those 2 positions. The first challenge will be to get the outer door Bowden cable connected back into these 2 points first. That'll be the biggest challenge, so we'll do that. And I've got to do it all by feel because I'm not going to be able to see very much in there at all. So the other thing I need to do is to make sure that the cable for the outer door illumination is not found. I'm going to unclip it just here where there is another clip, just to try and give me a bit more space for the lock. Get the lock in. Be sure I go the right way up and try and get it behind the cable that goes up on the door handle illumination. Just bring it around better and get it roughly into position where it needs to be, which is about here. Now I'm going to take a chance here and put one of these screws in just to stop it from dropping out. Now interestingly, these screw positions in this particular frame don't have any threads in, and it looks though these screws make their own threads, so I've got to place that and then drive it in by the looks of things. Yeah, so they literally cut their own threads. Very interesting. So now I'm going to try and get the lock cable, or the outer door handle cable, into where it's supposed to be. Okay, so I found the upper metal part. Verify that's what it is. I'm just clipping in the outer of the cable, and then the lower part, which I can't even see. I'm going to remove some more of this door cover here so I can get a better view inside. That's really important not to damage this, because this is the moisture barrier between the main part of your door, which does have moisture flowing through it. When you get water on the outside of the car, water can flow through here and exit from the bottom of the door. So it's really, really important that you maintain this moisture barrier between the door and the door card, otherwise the door card will become damaged. Now I'm going to use my phone to try and see, but I will include some shots of this. In fact, I'll just put it on video, so you can see there that the door cable. I'm using my phone to help me to see where it is, and there it is clipped in. It's actually clipped in quite easily. I'm just going to verify by moving the door handle that that works. That does appear to work, so that's good. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is to this is the outer door illumination cable. There is a location it clips into. The door lock itself, which is just here. That clips in there, and then there's another one here that clips in further up on the outer edge, just there. So that's where that one clips in. So you've got one clipped in there and one clipped in there, and that keeps this cable free of anything that might interfere with it, particularly the door window mechanism. So there we go. Apologies for the camera work. It's the most awkward place to film. So that looks like that's locked in nicely in both positions, one there and one there. And now all I've got to do is do all the stuff on the front. Okay, so we've got our power connection there, which we're going to connect up, and that's our child lock. Make sure that operates. So what we can do is we can verify that the lock is operating by closing this lock here and releasing it. This would be the inner door handle release, so we can move that to make sure that works, and we can simulate locking the door, and that prevents it from opening. We can simulate unlocking the door, and let's lock that again. So that's locked, and we release it like that. So that's released nicely. So that's all working, which is good. So what we're going to do now is to pop this protection back as moisture barrier protection. Well, I'm just going to clip in these two cables into this little clip just here. Let's get this barrier protection back in place, and we're going to put it back where it was using the same sealer that we had, making sure that we've got sealer all around, and we give it a really good press all the way around to make sure that that's sealed and keeps moisture away from our door card, because that we do not want. Okay, looks like we're good. So, final two T30 screws in the end. I made the mistake here of not locating that lock before putting this barrier back, so I need to release this barrier again. And I need to put pressure on the lock on the outside to get it where I need it. Get the screws in. that's all three done up tight. Now, there doesn't appear to be any adjustment on this, so they go back in where they go back in. Sometimes you can find on locks like this there'll be an adjustment backwards and forwards and up and down so that it locates and pulls the door in tight. But on these, I would imagine the adjustment's done on the locking pin that's on the chassis. So you don't have to worry too much about the position. We just put them in where they are. Okay, so that's all of our moisture barrier back in place and pressed down all the way around. Make sure it maintains a seal. Bring it around here and okay, first thing to do is to double check on this panel that all of our clips are not broken. Well, one of them is, I can see that. You can see the way it's snapped off there. These are a pain, they do break. I've got one that's displaced up here, which I'm not too worried about, but this one down the bottom is probably more important. So the one that's displaced I am going to use down here, and at some point I'll have to get a replacement clip for this top part of the door up here. For now I'm not too worried, I can get this back together. So basically a reverse of what we did before. I'm going to reconnect this cable retainer for the puddle light cable. We have got a cable here which is for I don't know what, so I can't remember. Now we've got a cable here for our tweeter at the top. A mid-range driver is connected there. This tweeter connects into the mid-range driver point next to the main connector. This one, what's this for? I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea. Oh, that's for the ambient light. Of course it is. So that connects the ambient light up the top here. So I'll connect that. That's connected there. I'll connect up. There's another cable retainer there which I'm going to pop in for the puddle light cable. I'm going to make sure that's hanging out the bottom so I can get the puddle light back in when I need to. And we have got the electric window cable here, so I'm going to pop that through where it needs to go. And the cable retainer lives back here, so put that in. The door central locking controls plugged in, so you don't get a lot of space here, so I'm going to plug in the tweeter back into its socket carefully. And the other thing I need to do is to put the lock button back in, which I have here. So we've got the lock button which pushes in to there and rotates around to where we need it to go through the panel. So adjust you up a little bit. And then the other thing we've got to do is to connect up the Bowden cable for the lock, which is not obvious. So I'm going to disconnect some of these cables just so I've got a bit more space. And it looks like that unit connects in here, which it does. So that now operates from the inner door handle. That clips over the top of there and then pushes into there. So that's our inner door handle, that's working. Great. Reconnect our tweeter cable. And now we've got some clips, some metal clips that should still be in the door card that clip up the top here. Let's bring you around and give you a bit of elevation so you can see what's going on. Okay, so we need to get this up the top there quite tight. We've got to get our lock button through the hole. here. At the same time, get our door card. Our button's not in. There's our button not in. I think what we're going to do, actually, to do this is to get the door card roughly where we need it. Line up the button. Tell you that make this easy at all. My watch is noise, so I'm going to take that off and get it out of the way. Right, so what I'm trying to do is get the top of the door card over the top there. Yep, there are metal clips in there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is try and get the lock button up through the hole it's supposed to go. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that off at the bottom. Make sure that that is rotated where I need it. I'm going to put it up through the hole and then clip it in. So I think that's pretty much the only way you can actually do it. So that's going to clip in there. Okay, that's where it needs to be. Okay, now we get the door card back in place. Wow. Okay, the thing I need to do is make sure all of my clips line up on the door, which they do. Okay, for that, so our door card back in. So we've got our window switch. We've got a connector just under here because we pushed it back through the back. That'll only go in one way. Little tab at the back there. Locks in. Push that back in. We've got our puddle light here. Just going to verify that that's working. And it probably won't be on right now, purely because of the I don't know which way around this goes. Right. Okay, clips up and in. Okay, so put a light in. We've got our two T25s for the door handle. So I need a T-bit from here, which is that one. That one doesn't fit in there. Right, quick insert here because I had trouble getting these screws for the door handle back into the door. And when you look, the actual part where the screw goes into has disappeared completely, which is not there. And then this one's the same. There's no thread there to screw these back into. So whatever it is that's behind there, it dropped out. Brilliant. Absolutely bloody brilliant. Okay, I switched cameras because the GoPro cameras are useless when it comes to battery life. It died. So I'm going to just pull this apart and see if I can find the clip that's supposed to be on the door where the screw for the armrest screws through into. And look, that's the front of it. And no thread in there. Brilliant. So I need to find out where that's gone. Otherwise, I cannot put the door panel back on because the screws that pull the door handle up to the door have got to be there. Otherwise, the door panel will just rip off if somebody tries to open the door. But what a stupid design. Now, where has that clip gone? There it is. Look, just sitting there. There it is. So that's the clip that the screw screws into. And as you can see, for no logical reason, it just separated itself from the main clip. And it just looks like it's supposed to clip on. But I would have said that the bit that clips those two elements together is completely missing. Completely and utterly missing. Now, that looks like it will go in through from the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to retrieve the other one, which is up behind here, and I'm going to glue those things together. Because that's just, oh, actually no, they do clip together. They do clip together. It looked like it had a clip broken off it. They do clip together, look. So I'm going to put that back in to where it's supposed to be. And, oh, now maybe. Well, that's a bit strange. It doesn't seem to want to go back into the door. I don't know why. Maybe it's just those little retainers on the side. There's some little retaining pegs on each side which look like they should squeeze in, but they don't want to. So I think what I'll do is I'll put that on. Now it won't come apart. Brilliant. I should squeeze those in because they look like they kind of go in once and are never supposed to come out again. Yeah, they don't want to go in. I think the idea of this clip is it's supposed to clip in from the front and from the back. What a weird arrangement. So I think the idea is this one goes in from the front. The other one goes in from the back. I reckon if I screw that up from the front, it should pull that together with a bit of luck. Do this gently. Right, that appears to squeeze it together. So what I'm going to have to be really careful of, and what I suggest you do when you put these back, is put these back, don't use a driver, do them by hand, and make sure that this is biting into that plastic first before you drive it. Right, okay, so that's the challenge with that one. Now I've got to try and do this one, which should be fun. So let's take that speaker off. And hope that we can find this clip up here. If we can't get it, I have to order a new one. It's sitting, I can feel it. I can see where it's sitting, but will I be able to get it out is the other question. And yes, I have. There it is. So I found it. So I think they are supposed to be together like that. There they go, it's clipped together. And this one looks like it probably will push in from the front. Yeah, that's going in from the front. So again, I would seriously suggest to anybody that when you put the handle back on, just gently rotate the screw by hand without putting too much pressure on it. Get it located and then you can drive it up. Don't go driving in too quickly with don't go driving in too quickly with a driver or with a screwdriver. Now I've just noticed that in here, the back of the clip just there, which is the door retaining brace, just know that's looking a little bit gummy, a little bit rusty. So I've just put a bit of WD-40 on the back of that just to make sure that stays free from moisture. That's the idea anyway. Okay, so let's get this mid-range driver back in. Now again, with something like this, when you're close proximity to the speaker, always be super careful with putting screws in, because it's very easy for the driver to slip and damage the cone of the speaker, and we don't want to do that. The other thing is, if you happen to pop into your local tool station and you see one of these on the counter, it's a Milwaukee multi-bit tool with two-way ratchet. These are brilliant, and they're cheap as chips, and the driver bit quality is superb. Just grab one. They're great value for money, I think. Always super handy to have around, these are. I'm not being paid by Tool Station. I'm not being paid by Milwaukee either. Okay, so everything is roughly back where it should be. Let's get this moisture barrier back in place. Get it all sealed up again. After having taken it out for the umpteenth time, actually this cable needs to come out the top. That's the cable for the I can't remember what that's the cable for. Oh, that's the cable for the electric window switch. Get to a point when you've taken these things apart so many times you forget what's what. Right. Okay, so door panel. And again, we're going to have the same trouble with the door panels we had before. I'm going to have to pop that lock out of there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rotate that round. So it's at the top, so it's where I need it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the door card and then clip it in. Okay, so make sure all of our metal clips are in place, all of our rubbers are in place. So the first thing I'm going to do is connect the inner door lever, or inner door release lever. Put that in place. And we've got, let's bring it around here, sorry, excuse that. Okay, so then we've got the clips for the puddle light sensor, the puddle light cable, which are going to clip in the bottom there. And they're going to clip in here. Then we have got that's for the door ambient light unit. We've got this one for the electric window switch. I've put that in through that hole. Then clip that back into the panel just here. That goes in. Ambient light switch, ambient light cable up here. Forgive the camera work, I'm new to this. Okay, and then we've got the tweeter connector into the mid-range driver. Okay, and then once everything's connected up and in place, I'm going to go on with the panel at the top. So I'm going to make sure that the clips are at the top where they should be. And then I'm going to bring the panel forward to put this lock button in place. Stop that, and then lower that down so I can clip it into the door lock mechanism. and there it is. Right, the other thing I'm going to do is make sure the clips are roughly in line with the holes where they need to push into, which they are. Okay, that's where the clips in. Now, this is where I need to be super gentle with these screws for the door handle. So I'm going to go very gently with these. And I can feel that biting straight away, which is really good news. I'm happy about that. So the screw is going to go in here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to feel this. Make sure I can feel the screw biting, and I can feel it biting straight away. So that's really good. So that's pulled these. In. I'm not going to go too mad tightening these up. I'm just going to nip them up to a reasonable pressure, purely because the fixings are only plastic. That's all they are. Okay, and there we are. That's nice and solid again. Great. So that worked. So let's get our puddle light cable out, which is here. Get that connected up. Back in. Now, interestingly, this puddle light here, this is not a genuine BMW one, interestingly. It's an aftermarket one. Because the rear doors in this car didn't have the projector type, they just had the normal lights. I wanted the projector type, and the BMW ones were so expensive. But the aftermarket Chinese ones are not great, because while they work to start with, they don't work for very long, and that's usually because the little projector slide that sits in here just in front of the light degrades and breaks down, and they fade. So you end up with a washed out image after a period of time. But what you can do is use the use the Chinese ones, right? But get the BMW projector slides that go into here, and you can buy those as a set. So I've used the genuine BMW slides in the Chinese light, which makes it an awful lot cheaper to do, and they work great. They work really well. There's a slight adaptation for the cabling here, but that's okay. And they've been on the car now for 2 years, and I've had no problem with the image fading at all. The image is as good as it was when I put them in. So I'm really happy about that. Right, okay. Go back on with the door handle cover. I think that's supposed to clip in at the top first, so I'm not going to go too heavy with it. Yeah, that's supposed to clip in at the top first. So there's a clip that goes up. So that clip goes up first into the top there, and then we go in with the rest of the clips. There we go. And that's it. Job done. Okay, so I've already done this quickly off camera before I put the door panel on, so make sure you check and test this door lock before you put the door card back on. So that opens beautifully now. I'm going to lock the car. It locks perfectly. When I unlock it, I don't get that stupid noise, which is lovely. There we go. It's locking and unlocking as it should do. It's nice and quiet. The locking is nice and quiet. The unlocking is as quiet as it was before. That's it. I'll put some prices in the video for and a link to where I bought that lock. These locks don't, with it being the rear lock, it doesn't need any coding to the vehicle. It's just a straight swap. It's just purely electrically connected, nothing clever. If it's the front door lock, then they need to be coded because of the key part, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe the front ones would need coding. The rear ones, no, not a problem. But if you get that double banging or multiple banging of the mechanism when you're trying to lock or unlock, then it indicates a failure in this unit here. You can't take these apart. These are all riveted together. They're a non-serviceable item. I don't know what they are from BMW. I will find out what the replacement cost of something like that is from BMW. You can do it yourself if you've got the tools. I would urge care and caution doing it. But yeah, it can be done yourself. Okay, so that was me fixing the F30 rear door lock that had failed. I haven't done many of these videos. I'm new to this, so forgive the camera work. But hopefully somebody will find that useful. I hadn't found many videos on YouTube that describe how that's to be done. Apologise for the brightness. There we go, that's better. I hadn't found very many videos showing how this was done. There was a basic video, but I think it dealt with the front door lock, not the rear door lock. So I thought I'd take you on the journey of replacing it. Hopefully you found that useful. It's not too daunting to do. Just be careful, watch out for the clips. I'm going to have to replace one of those push-in door clips anyway, so I know I've got to do that. Watch out for the clips where the door handle screws back into those two screw positions. They are vital, so just be super careful when you unscrew them. Make sure you're not putting too much pressure as you unscrew them, because as you unscrew them it could actually push that plastic clip out the back. So I would do it by hand. Don't do it with a driver. Do it by hand and just literally wind them out and allow the screwdriver to move away from the door as it's winding out, just so you don't shove those clips back in the back of the door. That's a pain in the backside to get out. We did it, it's done, so we're all good. Please like the video. I'm going to try and do more of these on bits and pieces that I do, repairs that I do, because I do all kinds of different stuff. I repair cars, I repair watches, I do all kinds of silly stuff, basically because I get bored, and I just have to have stuff to do. So please feel free to subscribe. I'm going to try and start doing more and more videos. There's not much on my channel at the minute, but I would love it if you'd come along on the journey. Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully people can be not too daunted about doing work on their cars. Maintenance on cars like this, it's just so expensive these days. It really is. A lot you can do yourself. Don't be too daunted by it. Don't skimp on tools. Make sure you've got the right tools. For something like this, make sure you've got a good panel removing set. They're not expensive from Amazon. You can pick them up as 10-15 quid. They're really cheap, but they're vital for getting panels off, so you don't damage parts, so you can get clips out without clips breaking. Clips will still break, but you won't break as many. Make sure you got a good set of tools, particularly on a lot of the German cars. You're going to need things like Torx bits. Make sure you're using the right bit size. A lot of these are T25, T15s, T10s, T30s, T40s. We're taking most of the things apart on one of these. Make sure you've got a good quality set of those. And if you see one of those little Milwaukee jobs, get one of those, because they're brilliant. They're really good. That's it from me. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you in the next one.